Hello flight simmers, welcome back and welcome to Cape Town International Airport, everyone. We are back in the Aerosoft A330 300 and today flying South African Airways across the South Atlantic, which is a route which I believe I've never done before. So yeah, a bit unusual flying over the South Atlantic, and there's certainly not a lot of flights doing that, but this is one of them. South African is at the moment operating one of their A330s to Sao Paulo from Cape Town, and so that's a very cool opportunity to fly some South African Airways ops. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It is now mid of August, and I think coming in November, when we have the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, then we will finally have at least, I guess, right from the start, at least one A330 in the Microsoft Flight Sim platform as well. So I guess there's not a whole lot of A330 flights left here in P3D with this bird. Might be, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 to come, but not much more than that. And yeah, it's kind of got good timing because, to be honest, I try to circulate between different airlines and stuff, but there's only so many airlines flying the A330 with their Rolls-Royce engines, so I feel like we had most of them on the channel at this point in time, and so I'm especially looking forward to also have other engine variants coming to Microsoft Flight Sim, which is going to just expand the scope of operations we can do a little bit. Right, so what else? Yeah, this bird looks beautiful. I've always really liked the South African livery. However, for some reason, and I don't know why, I've only found 1 or 2 South African liveries on the internet, and this seems to be really blurry zooming in. Like, textures are really bad when moving in close, and I don't remember other A330 liveries to be so bad. So yeah, I would stay a bit further out today. So then the blurriness is not too much of an issue. Right, so the flight over to Sao Paulo is surprisingly short. Just noticing some sounds go away as I click on the other screen, which is a bit strange. I've never had this issue before on P3, but never mind. Not too big of an issue now. So what was I about to say? Yeah, the flight itself is not really long in a way. It's surprisingly short, although today we'll fly 9 hours and 12 minutes. But due to the winds on the way back, the flight sometimes is as quick as 7 hours, which is a big difference, of course. But yeah, today it will actually take us 9 hours and 12 minutes. At least that's what we have on
Passengers
SimBrief.
bus is coming.
And yeah, and I will quickly pull up the SimBrief planning. So operating with the cost index 120, it's a full daytime flight, 0 fuel weight 157.2. And takeoff weight 229.6, so not far away from max takeoff weight. And I'm just noticing, I think it's partly due to this one planning entirely on flight level 260, which is slightly unrealistic. I know it says planned optimum flight level, so this might be due to winds, and the reason is average wind 83 knots at 279, which is pretty much straight on the nose, so a lot of headwind. But let's see, maybe we can climb up a bit higher and then we can cruise more economically. And thus we have a block fuel of 27.9, which is a fair bit, I would say. Right, and looking at the jet streams, we can kind of see the issue why it will take so long today. So we're really beating into the wind, and it's a lot of headwind. I was expecting, I've actually tried around a little bit with SimBrief and other routing tools to find anything further up north out of the jet stream. Which would save us a bit of fuel and flight time, but it seems to be really hard to find a shorter route, since going here would of course be a longer route then, and yeah. So I don't know really how to change that. I feel like we're gonna be beating right into the full jet stream for most of the flight, if not even all of the flight. So that's, yeah, very unfortunate headwinds here for us today. But apart from the winds, I think we're gonna have a very scenic departure at least. So we are departing out towards the north. We have winds coming from 330 today. So we will departing runway, I think it's 001, is it? Yeah, runway 01. And I think that's the one we're gonna fly, the IMSM Alpha. So quick left-hand turn on the radial 354 to 8 miles from Cape Town VOR, and then left-hand turn, and then we just want to see Cape Town City and the tabletop mountain to the left-hand side and just out over the Atlantic. So looking forward to that. That should be a fairly scenic departure. Right, that being discussed, I would say let's head into the flight deck and set up everything. Right, so here we are. I think I will start by coming in here, and they are boarding and loading the cargo with the GSX, but it's gonna take forever also since we have not refueled, so I'm just gonna go instant. Hoping that would work, but it does not even work, so I think I need to reset GSX in a second and kick on everything. Then let's start with the routing, that's also fine. We are on the current ARAC, 08 of August till the 5th of September, that's looking good. Let's see, we are going from Cape Town to Sao Paulo, like that. Insert flight number, I think it's South African 226, yes, that looks good. The cost index of 120 start. Yeah, let's put in for starting 260, and then we will check out the winds aloft and see where we want to climb. Oh, I think it was already in there. No, it's not. Departure 01 IMSM 1 Alpha. And for the arrival, at least for now, we will plan runway 10 right. Oh gosh, there's many. Let's take the Yankee and then we will fly the Atmos 1 Alpha like that. Secondary copy active. A wind. Let's request the winds as well, and then I believe we need to reset GSX. Otherwise it's gonna be tricky. Like that. Okay, let's try that reset position. Ah, there we go. Not sure if this would even work out. Okay, I don't think we need that. Right, so this is done. Parking brake can come on. Let's see. Performance, and now we can actually make use of SimBrief. Right, and here we go. So this is for the A330. Now we even have the Rolls-Royce. Wasn't it last time we had a different... Or am I confusing the aircrafts now? I feel like last time we had a different engine type in here. But now we have the Rolls-Royce, which is a good thing. Registry, of course, is wrong, but it's not an issue. Takeoff weight 230.35, and that's from the Airbus now, so not straight from SimBrief, but from the aircraft itself. It calculates flaps 1, assume temperature 44. Let's try and see if we take a flap 2. Yeah, 45, and I think that's better. 146, 154, 159. Right. Wow, using a lot of runway. Holy cow, that's gonna be fun. Right, so let's go flap 2. Trim is gonna be up. Where was it? Load. Up 2.8. Up 2.8. And then we have speeds of 146, 154 and 159 with a flex temperature of 45, and that's quite a bit more D-rate than the Airbus calculated. Right, on the charts it says we are flying an NADP2. So, I think those can actually come as low as 800 out of range. There we go. Engine out acceleration we're gonna leave as it is. That's looking good. Right, making sure we have the APU fired on, seatbelts are coming on. This is all looking okay for the time being. Second init page, did I not complete yet? Oh no. Holy cow, that's not good. Fuel 72.9. And zero fuel, we can actually double click. That makes it a bit easier. And for the alternate, which is Campinas, we just need 2.3, which is very close by. Wow, so 1 hour 30 extra. And I guess this is because this aircraft calculates with a higher flight level. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm a bit unhappy with the flight planning in regard of the fuel, but we're just gonna run for it now. I know that the A330 is not super complex, and thus it's not gonna kill us if we come in a little bit heavy even. Okay, so this is all set. VORs are on. Altitude flying offline. Let's go 27 or 26. It is actually 260. Well, actually, it should calculate with the 260. I don't think it factors in any step climbs, but yeah, once again, I'm not even sure if the fuel calculation in the Aerosoft A330 is spot on. I don't think it is. Right. APU bleed, external power, fuel pumps come on, beacons come on. We will make sure that we have, park brake is set. Remove everything. Doors, make sure everything is closed. Right, and that looks good. So let's ask for pushback. Then we will run the before start checklist. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thruster inserted. Windows are closed on both sides. And beacons are on before start checklist is completed. Right, we are off. So let's continue. Overhead panel is looking good. We have APU bleed. And so let's fire up on the A330. We do start with engine number 1. So starter coming on. Just seeing that my throttle is not set correctly. There we are. And let's start number 1. And 3 rising really quick. While quantity is dropping, that's good, and 2 is rising. Then we have ignition. Alright, and that's the... that was not the starter. I just heard something click and it sounded like the 737 when the starter jumps back to auto, but I don't think that was the case here. Same procedure for number 2. Alright, we have 2 good engine starts. Marshall is walking away. So this comes back to normal. AP bleed comes off, AP master off, engine anti-ice is not required. This goes to max. It's a flap 2 departure. This goes to armed, and we have a trim of up 2.8. We just set right now, and then we do a flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, elevator full up, full down, neutral, and rudder full left and full right. That is checked. After start checklist, anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is set up 2.8, and rudder trim is neutral. Cool, this is looking good. So taxi and turn off lights. Ground crew is clear, and we are good to go. Okay, coming to runway 01. That was easy taxi, just all straight, essentially. And now let's see, we have TO config completed. This is TARA 1200. I think it always resets to this one, not sure why. Predictive wind shear and radar is on. Approach seems to be free, so landing lights coming on. This comes takeoff, strobes on. And let's see, let's line it up, and then we are good to go. Yeah, so I think this is one of the what is it called, light sceneries, which we can see. They're not even like proper markings on the taxiways, but it's okay. It's not entirely bad. Right, maybe a quick word on the aircraft itself. So this is actually a fairly new A330, just 7 years old. And it was delivered straight to South African Airways, so it has always been with them. And yeah, so let's see how it performs today. Pretty close to max takeoff weight. There are no constraints on the departure. We will climb out to 3 miles from Cape Town VOR, then a left-hand swing intercepting the radial to the next waypoint. And then on from there. Right. Chrono is on, timer is running. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway 01 is identified. TCAS is TARA, and PEC 1 and 2 are on engines. So let's go. Not sure where we would stabilize the engines. It looks like they are running stable. Man flags 45, SIS runway, auto thrust blue. I do like the sound though. Not too bad. Yeah, I can feel the crosswind coming in from the left hand side. That is 100 knots. Wow, that's gonna be a bit of a takeoff run. Using a fair bit of the runway here. Holy cow. Imagine going into rejection at this point. We won. Rotate. Wow, we've used all of the runway. And we're airborne. Oh, nice. That was a really takeoff calculation on the margin. Wow, look at this, folks. Look at this. Barely gaining altitude. Climb power. Oh. we are making the aircraft sweat. That's for sure. Let's go. Flap 1, speed check, flaps 1. Wow, we could hardly clear the terrain going straight. And flaps up. Wow. Holy cow. Hardly climbing. That's one of the craziest departures I did so far in an A330. But now we are 250 knots, now we can gain some altitude. Look at this, Cape Town off to the left hand side. Very nice. Oh, I'm missing a few turns here. I am missing a few turns, but that's not an issue. Let's go direct. Oh. Dim some. And then we will actually kick on the autopilot. So we can enjoy the views. Tabletop mountain over there. Looking very nice indeed. Alright guys, passing 5,000 and we're on our way to Sao Paulo. I guess this will take a few minutes until we reach cruise altitude, which we need to calculate and adjust as I've mentioned before. And then we will meet back in roughly 9 hours for our approach into Sao Paulo. Catch you later guys. Hello folks, welcome back to the flight deck. We are approaching Sao Paulo and yeah, we are lucky. We are in for a sunset landing. I wasn't aware. I thought it was sort of bright daytime coming into Sao Paulo this afternoon, but I guess since it's winter time down here, sun is setting a bit earlier, so that's why it's sunset landing. And yeah, so now 9 hours and 19 minutes as expected. A lot of headwind through the entire flight. Crazy winds really. So yeah, but we've made it. Turns out we have plenty of fuel, so now we have 14.7 tons on board, and this is almost giving us 2 hours of extra time. So we can fly a lot of holdings, do many approaches before we run out of fuel, which we will hopefully not need. Right, also we are in for a landing on runway 28 left, which I believe is rather unusual into Sao Paulo. Usually they land on the 10s. Let's pull up some charts. So that's the airfield, and yeah, I think pretty much every time up to now I came into Sao Paulo was landing on 10 right, but today we have 28 left, and that's due to the winds. Currently have 260 at 9. So that's pretty much straight on the nose, tiny bit of a crosswind at 9 knots. So that's why we land on 28 left, and it's going to be a normal ILS. I've dialed in the ILS Zulu with decision altitude of 2646. Airport elevation is at 2460. And we will therefore fly the Atmos 1 Bravo. So Atmos, Nipo, Polip, I think we are currently heading into Polip. Then there's a bit of this detour which they fly, I think mostly due to traffic spacing reasons. And then into Utkuk, 6,000 above, and that's the initial approach fix. And from Utkuk we have the transition onto the final approach. And that's what we will do. In case of a missed approach, we will climb heading 275 to 6,000. Well, actually we fly until passing 3,400, so that's 1,000 feet above airport elevation. Then we do a big left-hand turn on heading 105 and climb to 6,000 at maximum 230 knots. And that's the plan. And then, of course, down at the airfield, we'll probably vacate on both. We should be easily making that one, and then we taxi to the international stands, which are back here. Not sure which they usually use for taxiing in. I guess we can use Bravo or Alpha for that. And then we'll park it up at the apron. I've seen on Flight Radar that for some reason South African Airways actually parks on the apron. Maybe it's a bit cheaper, I don't know the exact reasons. So that's what we will do. That is the plan, at least. Let's see, there's not too much traffic here at the moment. So I am wondering if we can actually go in on a more direct way. Wow, it's turning really dark out here very quickly. Yeah, so I'm wondering if we can turn in on a more direct way. We're now passing 10,000, so let's do landing lights on. Yeah, about the landing speed coming into performance. So flap full landing would be approach speed 137 even. Config 3 still has 139, and that's still a slow landing, considering that sometimes the 737 will bring in at like, I don't know, 150 something knots. So I decided to go config 3 today. Not sure how typical this is on an A330. I know that for A320 family it is quite common on long runways to do flap 3, since it saves a little bit of fuel. On the A320 family you have the selection here for flap 3 landing. Here I just found flap mode off, which I assume does the same thing. I'm a little bit unsure of that, to be honest. But therefore we're gonna just see how this works out on a flap 3 landing. Yeah, and now let's see, we're holding 230 knots. Ah, that's a very hilly terrain, but looks very cool here in the evening light. Very nice indeed. I think I can see some of the airport lights back there in the distance already. So, what do you think, guys? Should we take a bit of a shortcut here? Maybe we should. Let's go direct Utkuk. Does not seem like there's any traffic around at the moment. Right. Okay, final right-hand turn for the final approach course. And then we have, let's see, 13 miles to go from this point. And it starts slowing down, so that's speed 220 selected, flaps 1 coming out, let's go speed 200. Can activate the approach phase. overshot this last turn a little bit. The localizer's captured, that's perfect. Let's go approach mode, extend speed brakes, not sure why. I think we're coming in okay-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Should be able to slow down just in time. So I think we're looking good. Let's do turn off lights and taxi lights. Those signs come to on.
2,500.
Alright, let's go. Are we able for speed 2? And the VNAV profile bouncing up and down, and it's really an Aerosoft bug. Okay, let's go. Flap 2. Speed check, flaps 2. Right, let's go manage speed. Okay, 2,000 feet radio altitude coming up, so let's drop the gear. And this is coming to arm. Config 3. Right, landing checklist. Icam Memo, landing, no blue. Wow, how quickly is that sun setting? That's crazy. Right, guys. We are all set up. Wow, what's going on with my camera? I'm not sure why this is jumping back. Yeah, seems like the approach runway is free. Some other guys taxiing out for departure, but that's none of our concern, I would say. So let's do some flying. Oh, this does not work. There we go, my aircraft. Let's see, so we have winds 260 at 9. That's also as we have for the airport itself, so I'm not expecting the winds to shift. I'm not sure if I ever landed this aircraft on a flap 3 config, so I'm not sure how much of a handling difference there is. I would expect it to be a little bit less floaty.
Approaching 27 left, too high, too high.
Disregard, I think we are right on profile. The glide slope is showing good. Also we have 2 reds and 2 whites on the power piece.
500.
Unstable, unstable.
400.
Why? Why would I be unstable? It's a bit odd. Anyhow, let's continue.
300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard 10, 5.
And there we are. Reverse. Reverse green, decel. Right. I think that was quite okay. Maybe a little bit of a firm touchdown. As firm it as can actually be in the A330. Usually it's quite soft to the way the landing gear is
1,200
installed on this aircraft, but I
meters
think that was
remaining.
okay. Right, and so that is Golf coming up to the right hand side. And it's not a high speed exit, so let's take it nice and slow. And then of course we are crossing an active runway, so we need to make sure that there's no one departing. Okay, so there was just one departure, and I think we're good now because other guys are still taxiing out while Swiss 777 back there. Nice. I remember flying out here with the Swiss 777 actually. I think that's a few years back. Okay, pulling into stand 609. And first of all, not sure why the Marshal is hiding behind the light pole there. And also, there seems to be no dynamic lighting config for this airfield. It's a bit disappointing, so I actually need to leave the taxi lights on, otherwise I'm not going to see anything taxiing in here. I think even now we just need to eyeball it. Let's leave it here. It's as good as it gets, I would say. Right, parking brake coming on. APU is available, so cutting engines. So 1 and 2, 2 and 1. And then this is gonna be coming to standby with the transponder 2000. Let's switch on some lights. So seat belts, beacons, and fuel pumps, like that. Parking checklist. Parking brakes are set, engines are shut off, wing lights are off, and fuel pumps are off as well. Parking checklist is completed. No, not quite. Need to do the lights, of course. Right, there we are.
The boarding requested.
Alright, so on here we have a touchdown rate of 173, and on Volanta, let's see, 159. So of course I'm going to choose the better one. So 159, yeah, quite happy with the landing actually, considering it was what I believe is my first time on a config 3 landing, at least the first time I can remember. So yeah, like this one, that was not too bad. Alright guys, so welcome once again to what seems to be a very dark Sao Paulo's airfield. I think last time I've been here I actually had dynamic lighting. Not sure what happened there with the installation. But never mind. We've made it here with the South African Airways A330-300. That was kind of cool flying over the South Atlantic. It's a pretty rare thing to do. So that was nice, doing another long haul. I don't know guys, I feel like the A330 and P3D, the Aerosoft one, is it was good fun flying it for a long time, but now I'm so much anticipating some better A330s in Microsoft Flight Sim, and I feel like this aircraft is, yeah, it's kind of fun to operate on normal routes, but it really lacks in terms of visual quality and also system fidelity. And I feel like it's all very standard flights from A to B. But let me know what you guys think of it. So if you still enjoy these A330 videos, I'm of course happy to produce more of them going forward. But just judging from my gut feeling, I feel like the A330 is gonna be rediscovered on my end once it is released for Microsoft Flight Sim. But yeah, let me know what you think about this flight, and as always, I appreciate you guys very much tuning in and leaving likes. That is very, very much appreciated. And yeah, I will see you on the next one, guys. Take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye.